Hi. I have been doing a lot of thinking lately. And it's more, I guess, thinking slash reflection about my journey on this road to building a lifestyle that I want. And the key factor to that is having a business that fits my lifestyle, because I think that's a key component a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with, having a business that fits your lifestyle, not a lifestyle that fits your business. You don't want to have to live to work, right? The whole point of starting a new venture, there's a couple of different reasons that it could be. My primary, as I've said before, was because I wanted to be able to homeschool my kids. I wanted to be available to them. I also have family members that I wanted to make sure that I was available for, to help them whenever they may need, morning, noon, or night. And so I definitely had a goal of starting a business that would allow that kind of flexibility in my life, a business to where I was running it. It was not running me. And that always brings challenges. And I think one of the hardest challenges that a new entrepreneur would face is the negativity. Now, this negativity can come from a lot of different places. It can come from former employers, it can come from family members, it can come from well meaning friends that don't realize they're being the naysayers, or it can even come from your own mind. And I've had a lot of struggle with negativity to having to overcome that. I have a lot of self doubt. My dad, I know I had mentioned in a previous video, my dad didn't have that doubt. He wanted me to start this business a long time ago. He actually gave me a loan so that I could purchase courses, so that I could learn to be a better bookkeeper, so that I could start on my own venture as an entrepreneur, as a business owner. And he really wanted that for me. I didn't allow his cheerleading and positivity to overcome my own negativity and self-doubt, which I regret. And there's nothing I do about it now but push forward and be proud of my accomplishments, right? Because I am making this work. Um, so self-doubt is very, very strong. It's very powerful. And if you don't know how to get a handle on it, or you don't find those positive influences for you strong enough to overcome it, you will tank your business before it's even off the ground. And I think it's important to really dig deep and figure out where this self-doubt is coming from, where this negativity is coming from, and attack it head on. One of the books that was recommended for me to read was Feel the Fear and Do It Anyways. And it was a great book because it made me see that it's okay to feel afraid. It's normal. If you're not afraid starting your own business, stepping out into this new course of life, then something's wrong with you, right? I mean, come on. It's scary. You're upending your life as you know it, a steady income, reliable source of income, normal business hours. You don't have to worry about if you're going to have these different revenues coming in. And so you really have to take this leap of faith. And that does mean you have to overcome the fear that you're going to feel. And you need to find the correct people who are going to encourage it and push you forward and help you work through those voices in your head, or even help you learn how to respond to the naysayers in your life. Because I don't care who you are, you're going to know naysayers. And it's very important to learn how to respond to them, how to answer them. And in a firm way, I wouldn't say rude, callous, or caustic way, but in a firm, determined way, because you need to push forward on this road that you are looking to go on, because it's a wonderful opportunity for you to be able to go out there and to create a life you never dreamed of. Um, I know that I have a lot that I've been thinking about, and one of the biggest self-doubts I had is how can I get people who I've never met to have enough trust in me and in my capabilities to handle their bookkeeping and their taxes, because finances, that's a touchy subject for a lot of people, right? It's a very private subject. It's very personal to a business owner. And yet it is possible to gain that trust from people. Um, I would say that once you land your first client, it's a huge boost to your self-esteem. It really is. There's nothing more exciting than being able to tell your partner, your family. I even said it to my kids. They're like, "Yay, great, mom, you got a client." But being able to, celebrate that win. The winning of a client isn't always easy. It doesn't always happen in the first couple of conversations. Yes, I've landed clients with only one or two conversations. But I think the scary part is when you are talking with these clients. Well, they're not clients yet, they're potential clients, right? You're talking with this potential client. The conversation goes really good. They express that they want to work with you. And the scary part then is they want to know what your price is. Learning to set your price at its proper value is so important for you. I apologize. I have puppies in the background playing here. If you can hear them, I'm sorry. But learning how to price your services to capture your full value, because valuing yourself will have a negative effect on your business, but more importantly on your psyche. I've learned that. I've had a couple times where I've underpriced and I've kicked myself, but you can't allow that to stop you. You just got to get up and push forward, right? You're like, okay, so I learned on this person that was not the appropriate fee I should charge, because it was way more work than I had anticipated. So don't have that self-doubt where you discount yourself. You have to be able to set a value on your time and on your expertise, because I guarantee you as a bookkeeper know more about finances than the business owner who you're talking to, right? That's why they're talking to you, because they realize they need your help. So value yourself on that part and make sure you learn how to price your services correctly. So going back to how long it takes to land a client, like I said, I've landed them in one or two conversations. Most recently, I had a client that is now officially a client. I have signatures on engagement letters and the first payment, right? That's what signifies that you're officially my client. I have your signature, your agreement to my terms, and you've valued me enough that you've actually paid your invoice so I can get started on your work. This client, I started off talking with him, and he's a very busy entrepreneur. He's been in business for a few years. He's done his best to keep up with bookkeeping. However, he knew it wasn't up to par. He knew he's missing key components, having clear financial picture of where his business is, where his profit margin is. It's all business owners. I guarantee you, all business owners can tell you the balance in their bank account, and they have an idea of the invoices or the monthly bills that they have to pay. That's a start. But knowing your bank account balance and the bills where you're going to have to pay is not a clear picture of your financial situation. There's so much more that goes into it. And he's a smart enough businessman that he realized he's too busy to figure out that key component he needed. And so I was super excited. I'm like, great. He's like, we can get my books caught up, and then I'll call you and we'll set it up to where you can take over the bookkeeping, because he was a little leery of my cleanup fee. Let me tell you what, cleanup is hard. Cleanup is time consuming, labor intensive. You have to make sure you price it correctly. And it is not cheap. It's not. Most business owners cringe when they hear the price for cleanup, but that's okay, because you need to get paid for the work you're going to do. Anyways, sorry, went down a rabbit hole. So anyways, I said, great, right? I didn't really think a whole lot of it. I was just kind of waiting. We had set on a time to call and connect again. I reached out to him and he's like, we're still working on it. Not quite ready. Okay, that's fine. No big deal. I get it. Life is crazy. Things, go askew. And so I'm like, okay, how about I reach out to you in a month and we can see where you're at. Reached out in a month, didn't hear back. I'm like, okay. He got caught up. He's figured it out. He's not going to want my services. I was really bummed. I was really quite bummed because I was super excited to work with this business owner because I knew what I could do for his business. And I knew what he could do for my business. So, I mean, the symbiotic relationship there that I was super excited to start, and didn't hear anything. About 6 more weeks go by and I get a phone call from him. And he wanted to apologize for not reaching out to me. He said he tried, he had some help with his books, and that help went terribly, terribly wrong. Good intentioned family members did not help. Quite the opposite. And now he's in a crunch and he knows he needs my services. But what's even more desperate is he needs to clean up services because he has no idea what's gone on with his finances for a while. And now I just went down a rabbit hole and I just got on a soapbox, whatever you want to call it, and talked about discounting yourself. I did discount my services for this client because I felt for him. I felt for what the well-intentioned family members tried to do. So I did give him a bit of a break. I'm okay with that. I won't do it again for the next client that needs a cleanup service because, like I said, it's labor intensive. But for this client, this was 4 months in the making. And what happened was he had to explore other avenues at the moment to see if they were viable. And when he realized how they were not viable and they were actually detrimental, he reached back out to me. We had built up a relationship, I guess, over the few times we had spoke. I always offered free advice to him. And 4 months later, he agrees to my cleaning up his books and being a monthly bookkeeping client. With the cleanup and with what I'll be getting paid for as monthly client, I went from I lost this potential client to making over $20,000 by within a year from this client. And no, he doesn't pay me up front. There's no way I would require him to pay, the full fee up front, especially for the bookkeeping part, right? That's a monthly service. But patience, perseverance, and just being a kind-hearted person who reaches out every so often saying, hey, just wanted to see how you're doing. Is there any questions I can answer for you? I now have a new client and I'm super excited to be able to work with him. So don't give up. Even on those potential leads you think you've lost, circle back around to them. Because yes, you may get a client to sign on the first time you talk to them, but 4 months down the road, or possibly even longer, suddenly you have a phone call from them or an email asking for your help. And then you have a new client, and it is the most amazing, wonderful feeling in the world. So just don't get downhearted. Don't discount yourself. Stay positive, find your cheerleaders and push through. Because when you're able to push through, you end up with wonderful possibilities. So anyways, I hope this video has helped you a little bit and I'll talk to you next time.